Everybody. My name's Andy Scott. I am the North Texas representative for UT Rio Grande Valley. Actually, it's going to let me use your recording, Victoria, so you can just send me the link afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I am actually in Fort Worth, Texas, so I am nearby. I work with all of Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Waco, East Texas, West Texas, and the Panhandle. We actually have representatives that cover the entire state of Texas. I just am lucky enough to have the biggest chunk. So I'm with, like I said, University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. I'm going to show y'all a video real quick. You should be able to see our virtual booth for the TACRO college fairs right now. So let me know if that's not what you see. I'm going to actually share my sound too.
What I love about UTRGV is their friendly atmosphere. Everyone I've met here has always greeted me with a positive attitude and the willingness to help others.
The reason I chose UTRGV is because it feels like home. Everyone here is very friendly. We can literally start a class not knowing anyone and end up being really close friends by the end of the semester.
UTRGV feels like home, and I love our campus and all of our professors here.
What makes UTRGV special is its culture. Being in close proximity to the Mexican border and as well as South Padre Island, we do have a lot of different events that coincide with our culture.
Student life at UTRGV is great. We can hang out at the student union, we can attend basketball games, volleyball games.
A lot of student activities. The ones that I love the most are UTRGV Madness, the end of the year celebration, the pep rallies, the games.
There's always something to do on campus, whether it's joining a club or being part of a fraternity or going out for intramural sports.
Reading of the letters gives me chills. Everyone there is full of school spirit. Everyone there is dancing, hanging out with friends. It's just an awesome experience.
So the Burning of the Letters is a great event. It's one of the biggest events of the year. That's when you see, faculty, alumni, students all coming together to celebrate UTRGV.
I go to work here, I go to school here, and I have all my friends here.
UTRGV offers work study. It allows me to work on campus, pay for my tuition, and pay for my books. Best part of all, they work with your class schedule.
There's a lot of opportunities at UTRGV, whether it's working for the library, the bookstore, or the student union.
UTRGV provides a lot of opportunities such as being a research assistant or being an orientation leader, being a tour guide, and those opportunities open up a lot of doors.
I was able to be exposed to the research world here at UTRGV, which is pretty awesome because I get to be able to do what I want to do with my career.
UTRGV has the best faculty. They're from all over the world. They're extremely friendly and always willing to help.
Through UTRGV, I was able to obtain my bachelor's degree, and now I'm working towards my master's degree, and that has really transformed my life.
That was just a little video that some of our tour guides put together with our marketing department to kind of explain why they love UT Rio Grande Valley. So just in case you maybe have not heard of us before, we are made up of our two legacy institutions. So prior to 2015, well, really 2013, but 2015 is when we welcomed our first freshman class. We were the University of Texas Pan American and the University of Texas Brownsville. And then in 2015, the two universities became the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. So we still have both locations. You saw some shots of both campuses in the video. We're so excited this year. I mean, since we've become UT Rio Grande Valley, we've actually brought in larger and larger freshman classes. But this year we just completely shattered our records and we have close to 5,500 new freshmen. We have well over 30,000 current students. About 26 or 27,000 of those are undergraduate students seeking their bachelor's degree. We have official numbers, but we haven't released them yet, so I don't want to really give out the exact number, but over 30,000 vaqueros strong. We are ranked first in Texas for social mobility. So you can think of social mobility as moving around in your socioeconomic status or income brackets. So students that graduate from UTRGV make the largest jump in socioeconomic status once they achieve their bachelor's degree. We are a Hispanic serving institution. We do have majority of our students, they are Hispanic. However, this is actually a designation given to us by the Department of Education, which says that not only do we have a large population of Hispanic students, but we also have services for traditionally underserved students, like students from low socioeconomic backgrounds or students who are first-generation college students. So we have a lot of services available to them to make sure that they succeed in their transition from high school to the university. We are the largest recipient of grant funds in the state. So you're all muted and I can't see your faces, but normally I would ask you to tell me what a grant is. So if you're familiar with financial aid, which I'm sure all of you are, you know that there's loans, there's grant money, there's work study, and grant money is money that you do not have to pay back. So we get the largest allocation of Texas grant funds in the state to pass along to our students. We are ranked the best bang for your buck in the Southern United States, and also the third greatest value among Texas publications by Money Magazine. And we were very excited about this designation because our president, Dr. Guy Bailey, likes to say that we're going to give you a quality education at UT Rio Grande Valley without asking you to finance your future. So the fact that now that has been his mission and now we're being recognized for that nationally was very exciting to us. We have over 85 undergraduate degree programs. And again, I'm going to direct you towards that chat. Let me pull it back up just to make sure. I'm not sure if you came in late, if you're able to see it. So if you open up this link that I'm sending you, that is our brochure. So you can actually scroll down a few pages and see all of our undergraduate degree programs listed in there, in that brochure. But I'm going to talk about the different colleges and schools. And then when you're talking about our graduate programs in our School of Medicine, we actually have over 120 total programs. A little too far. So I don't have the entire breakdown of our fall 2020 class yet, but this is just some information about the fall 2019 incoming class. So about 43% of them were ranked in the top 25% of their class. 57% had prior college coursework in the form of dual credit or AP classes. And then last year, 87% of our incoming class received financial aid. But this year, because we had tuition advantage and the CARES Act, actually 97% of our incoming class got some kind of aid. So that is huge, and we were really excited to be able to award so much aid to our incoming students. So our fall 2019 freshman class was about 4,800 students, but like I said, this year we are around 5,500. And then our fall transfer class was about 1,800. And I like to distinguish between these two because transfer students are actually students that have graduated high school and then attended another institution and then transferred to UT Rio Grande Valley. So a lot of our incoming freshmen think, well, I'm going to have dual credit classes, or I'm going to already have graduated with my associate's degree, so I'm a transfer student. And you're not. You are still a freshman for all intents and purposes besides your academic classification. So you are still a freshman if you have dual credit, even if you have enough to get you an associate's degree. You're still going to want to apply as a freshman because we want to be able to award you freshman scholarships, and we want to treat you like a freshman with regard to like housing and orientation. So like I mentioned, Edinburgh, Texas used to be the University of Texas Pan American, and Brownsville was University of Texas Brownsville, but now we have both locations. So our Edinburgh campus is going to be the more urban campus. So it's actually a smaller campus size-wise. It's kind of in the middle of like a big city area. So you can walk to places, there's like grocery stores and like gyms and restaurants all within walking distance. And probably 75% of our undergraduate courses are offered in Edinburgh. And then you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, the Bronx Trail. That is a covered walkway. It's a mile covered walkway that goes all the way around campus, which having that shaded walkway in the Texas summers is very nice. And then our Brownsville campus is going to feel a little bit more rural. So, you know, there's not quite as much right around the campus. It's more spread out. It actually surrounds a lake. So going from one side of campus to the other, you actually cross a bridge, and it's beautiful, and it's designed to look like a hacienda. So the architecture and all of this signage just looks really different than anything you would see at another university. but only about 25% of our undergraduate classes are offered there. So depending, on what you're looking for in a university, we really have something for everyone. We do have multiple locations if you're including our graduate and research facilities. So we have the Vaquero Express, which this does go back and forth between Edinburgh and Brownsville, and it stops in Harlingen as well. But this bus is free for students. It picks up every 15 minutes at both locations, and it runs from 6 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. There is Wi-Fi on the bus, so you can watch Netflix or Disney Plus or do your homework, or you want to do going back and forth. But all of our majors are offered at both campuses, so you can actually take classes at both, and many of our students do. I mentioned how we had been bringing in these record-breaking freshman classes, and that is great, right? Like most universities want to grow, but you have to be able to keep up with that growth. Right now, our average class size or our faculty to student ratio is 21 students per one faculty member. And we want to keep that classroom size small, so we actually are building and adding faculty members to keep up that growth. So these are two brand new academic buildings. And the left-hand side is in Brownsville, right is in Edinburgh. And so these facilities are just classrooms so that we can continue to keep our class sizes small and offer additional classes. So this is a list of all of our colleges and schools. So like I said, I would love for you to go through the PDF that's linked in the chat and browse the majors. And then if you have any questions about a specific major, you're welcome to chat them and I will try my best to answer. But I'll just kind of run through them a little bit. So the Robert C. Vaquer College of Business and Entrepreneurship has our business programs, marketing management, a thriving hospitality management program. It's actually named after the CEO of the largest car dealership in the Valley. So he gave a huge donation to the university, and so we named a college after him. There's lots of opportunities for internships through our business program. It really is amazing. It's accredited by the American Association of College and Schools of Business, which is an accreditation reserved for the top 5% of business programs in the country, or in the world, actually, sorry. We have the College of Education and P through 16 integration. So this is where you're gonna find all of your teaching programs or special education, our elementary and middle school teaching programs. And then if you're wanting to teach at the high school level, you actually major in the field that you're wanting to teach and then do your education classes your last 2 years. College of Engineering and Computer Science houses our computer science, computer engineering, one of the state's top civil engineering programs, mechanical engineering. I think we have a certificate program in petroleum engineering. There's several different options there as well. I had the pleasure of meeting with some alumni from Raytheon and Lockheed last fall, and they both said that they specifically go down to UTRGV to hire our graduates because our graduates are just very ambitious and tend to advance and pick up on things the quickest. So that was exciting for me to hear. Our College of Fine Arts houses our theater, our music, obviously all of our applied arts programs, a dance program. We actually do have a bachelor's in dance and a teaching certification in dance. The College of Health Professions has tons of medical or undergraduate degrees. So we have deaf and rehabilitation studies, addiction studies, communication disorders. We have a very competitive biomedical science program. So if you're interested in that and wanting to go to med school, you actually will apply for that while you're still in high school. So you'll apply to the university and then you'll apply to the biomedical science program. The difference between like biomedical science and doing biology is that in biology, whenever you take your basic sciences, you're just kind of getting like an overview of biology. But whenever you're in biomedical science, even your basic classes are aimed to medical school. And so the instruction you're getting is specific to going on to medical school into the human body. The College of Liberal Arts has all of our liberal arts programs. So it actually has the most majors, your history, your foreign language, communications, oh my gosh, there's so many, criminal justice and criminology. So we have a really great criminal justice program. It's one of our top majors because our students not only get to intern with local police, but also with FBI and Border Patrol. This is just due to our proximity to the Texas-Mexico border. So we have some national law enforcement agencies at our back door. The College of Science houses our natural sciences, so geology, biology, physics, math. It has our marine biology program. So we're close to the ocean. We're about 30 minutes from South Padre Island. So if you're wanting to study marine biology, you have to be close to the ocean. So we have a fantastic program. We actually have a coastal studies lab, which is a boat, but it sounds cooler when you call it a coastal studies lab. Our School of Nursing houses our nursing program. It is, once again, kind of similar to biomedical science. It's very competitive. So you want to make sure that during your first and second year, your freshman and sophomore year, that you're keeping those grades up so that you are a competitive candidate. But we have majors within our health professions that if you, for some reason, aren't able to get into our nursing program, there are still medical degrees that you can pursue. And then our School of Social Work has both the bachelor's and the master's degree in social work. And we are a bilingual university. So the fact that you get that exposure to the Spanish language is incredibly beneficial when you're trying to get a social work job in the state of Texas. Okay, so in this COVID world that we are living in, we have had to expand our class format. So I just wanted to go over these with you. This is another reason that our freshman class was so large, because they have these different options for offering classes now. So we have online asynchronous classes, which means you watch the lectures and go through the PowerPoints at your own leisure. And then, you turn your assignments in all online, but there's no specific date or time that you have to be online. We have online synchronous classes. So these are fully online, but they are scheduled at certain days or times. So similar to how we're meeting right now, your professor is going to be live at a certain day and time, and you are expected to be online as well. We have hybrid and reduced seating classes. So some classes have like a hands-on aspect that you can't accommodate virtually. So there are times that students need to be on campus. So these are split. And so there are in-person components, but we obviously make sure that it is reduced capacity and there's social distancing and masks are required on campus. And actually most of the time when you walk into the building, there's someone that will direct you to go ahead and go use some hand sanitizer, which we supply as well. We do still offer traditional face-to-face classes. Again, these are limited capacity and making sure that we have the ability to social distance. And then interactive video classes aren't actually a new thing for us. So since we have the two campuses, but we want to make sure we can accommodate all of our students, sometimes you might have a professor that is lecturing in Edinburgh to a class full of students, but then you might have a class full of students in Brownsville that's watching the lecture through the interactive video streaming. So that is available as well. So like one of the students that's at UTRGV, she's a freshman this year. She's from Lamar and she actually is doing all of her classes online this semester and she's still living at home. So that is something that is a possibility in the future. Obviously, we want you to come to campus, but we want to make sure that it is safe whenever you do that. So these are some of the services that we offer to acclimate you to UTRGV. So new student orientation is usually a one-day on-campus program where you meet with specific departments. You learn how to navigate our systems, like how to register for classes, how to view your holds, and then you actually meet with an advisor and register for classes. This year we did it completely online. So students would have a one-on-one appointment with their advisor where they would get advised for classes. And then if they, for some reason, weren't able to register during that appointment, then we would have a registration lab for them later on that they could log on and meet with an outreach representative. So whether it has to be virtual or in person next summer, we're going to make sure that we give you all the information you need to succeed in that first year as a Vaquero. Vaquero Roundup, you can see pictures of that event over here on the right-hand side of the slide. That is like a big pep rally, a fun, exciting day that's really close to when you actually start your classes in the fall. So you'll spend some time with your college, meeting other students of your same major, and then attending this pep rally where you'll kind of learn about the traditions and the cheers, and you'll hear from athletics and just a lot of different programs. Jumpstart is a program that's offered for students who are not college ready according to the Texas Success Initiative. So just in case you're not familiar, Texas Success Initiative, or TSI, is the state mandate that says you have to show that you are ready for college algebra or composition 1 or English 1. So if you score high enough on your STAR test or your SAT or ACT, then you're good and you can go straight into those classes. If not, you actually have to take the Texas Success Initiative assessment. And then if you score high enough and you pass it, then you get to go into college algebra or composition 1. If you don't pass it, then you have to take a remedial class to make sure that you're ready for that math and English. So with Jumpstart, we prefer that students do their remedial classes in the summertime because we want to make sure that we're not, like making you have to be in college longer than 4 years. So if you start out your freshman fall semester and you're in remedial classes that don't actually count toward your degree, then you're already kind of like pushing back your graduation. So we try to get you enrolled in those remedial classes over the summer and then taking your college algebra and composition 1 in the fall. Academic advising is centrally located, so you're not going to be jumping around campus trying to find a faculty advisor, or when you switch majors having to change your advisor. You're still going to go to that same location, and our advisors are going to work with you from the start of your degree till the end of it to make sure that you're taking the right classes. And then U Central is another one-stop shop where you can go for any enrollment need. So if you have questions about your application, your admission status, holds on your account, your bill, then U Central is where you go and they can help you with that, again, rather than bouncing from office to office. Yeah, I need some water. Okay, these student success services are things that you will use once you're actually at UTRGV. So the Learning Center is where you can go for tutoring. If you need tutoring in any subject, they're going to offer it to you. It does have a price. It's like a cost per hour. It's relatively inexpensive. I think it's between $6 and $7. Also, for our traditionally more difficult courses, we offer supplemental instruction and peer-led team learning. So basically, these are meeting times that are offered outside of the class, and you work with a student that already took the class with that professor and made an A, and that student just kind of guides you back through the lectures and the reading material and tells you what you need to focus on for exams. So this is part of the class. It's already built in tuition, so there's no additional fees for the supplemental instruction or peer-led team learning. Engaged scholarship and learning is where you go to plug into any kind of outside of the classroom learning experience. So if it's a leadership opportunity or an internship or study abroad, if you want to get involved in research, you can go to Engaged Scholarship and Learning, Community Service Learning, and that's where you're going to get plugged in. The Writing Center is available online or in person, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, to help you outline your first research paper or proofread a final paper. They can help you with writing styles. If you're unsure about the writing style that your professor is asking about, then they can help you with that. We do have counseling services, so mental health, emotional well-being is incredibly important. We want to make sure that our students are served in that area, so we do offer one-on-one counseling. It's part of your tuition. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. And we also offer just like seminars for issues that tend to come up with college students. Health services are available to you on both campuses, so if you are ill or you need an annual exam, you can go to our health service center and get seen free of charge. As part of your tuition. You don't have to pay anything extra. There's also a pharmacy on campus, so you can actually get all your prescriptions transferred to our pharmacy, and then you don't have to go off campus to get your medications. Our Career Center is there to help you draft a resume or help you get that first job, help you with mock interviews. They'll connect you with alumni that are in the area you're wanting to go into. So we want to make sure that we're ensuring your success, not just at UTRGV, but beyond. And then we have a food pantry at both campuses. So we don't want food to be a concern for our students. If there are food needs or toiletry needs that you have and you don't have the money to go buy things, then you go to the food pantry, no questions asked, and go grocery shopping. So we have lots of donations throughout the year. So it's always pretty well stocked, and we want to make sure we're taking care of our students. And then the community garden is actually at Brownsville. So there's a community garden where students grow fruit and veggies. Okay, so anytime that you have a large open access facility with young people, then we're gonna wanna make sure we're taking our campus safety incredibly seriously. So we have the state's third largest law enforcement agency available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They are there for emergency situations. They're there if you need an escort, like if you are trying to go across campus, maybe it's late at night and you just don't feel safe. They're there to help you with your vehicle. I'm not saying they can fix it, but if you need a jump start or some gasoline, they can help you out with that. And then if any items are lost, obviously they are there to help recover it. We have the Campus Shield mobile app. This is free for students to download. You can use that app to report emergency situations, and the GPS on that app is so good that not only does it tell them like what campus you're on, it tells them what building you're in and what floor you're on and what room you're in so they can get to as quickly as possible. It also has an anonymous report feature. If you need to see if you see something suspicious and you want to report it, you can do that. And then we have what's called the Friend Watch. So if you just want to make sure that somebody knows you get where you're going, then you can set a timer on your Campus Shield app. And if you don't turn that timer off when you get to your destination, then it will alert police and your emergency contacts that something may have happened. And then SecureLife.com looked at 11 years worth of crime data at campuses across the nation. And UTRGV was ranked as the third most secure campus in Texas and the 31st most secure in the nation. So again, very exciting for us because we want to make sure that our students feel safe and secure. Okay, so, college is a lot about academics, but it's not just about academics. We want you to get involved and to make friends and to plug into a community. So we have over 250 student organizations for you to join. We have Greek life, interest groups, honor societies. We have a mentorship program called Engaging Peers in College, or EPIC. We have university recreation, so if you want to get involved with intramurals and play intramurals, or if you like to maybe go camping, we have university-sponsored camping trips known as outdoor adventures. We have a lot of beautiful state parks and hike and bike trails in the valley, and so they go camping in locations. We are part of the Western Athletic Conference, and we have 16 Division I athletic programs. When we are not in a global pandemic, we offer over 75 study abroad opportunities. So some of our students do short-term study abroad where they go somewhere with a UTRGV professor and several UTRGV students for 4 to 8 weeks, and they take a UTRGV class in a different location. But then we also have long-term study abroad opportunities. So you can go to a partner university for 1 year to 2, or 1 semester to 2 years to study there. And then there are just always activities on campus whenever we're able to gather. So there's an app called Corq, it's C-O-R-Q, and students can use that app and they can see what activities are on campus that day where they can maybe get free food or UTRGV gear or just meet other students. So there's always something going on for you to get involved with. So we do have housing on campus. Currently with COVID, we are at 50% capacity, so we do not have students sharing rooms this year. Next year really depends on where we are at with the pandemic. We also have designated quarantine facilities. So there are students that if they start feeling ill, then they go to the quarantine facility and their meals are brought to them, and they can, if they're well enough, continue to do their classwork, but that way they're away from other students until we're able to get test results back. The university, actually, since we have a school of medicine, we have been a COVID testing site pretty much since all this started and are doing research on the virus to get a better understanding. So we are gonna make sure that you're taken care of and tested quickly before we let you go back and live with the other students. So we have an apartment complex in Brownsville called Casa Bella, and then in Edinburgh, we have 3 residence halls, Heritage, Troxel, and Unity. You're not going to share a bathroom with more than 4 people. Right now it's 2. So you might have your own bathroom, and then you might have a suite bathroom where there are 2 people in one room and 2 people in another in a shared bathroom. So if you are a major that is offered in one of our living and learning communities, then you can actually apply to be a part of that, and then you'll live on a floor with students of your same major and have some of the same classes. You'll have a faculty advisor and a peer advisor, So that just kind of gives you this smaller community and sense of accountability right when you get to UTRGV. That way you don't, you already kind of have just this little built-in live-in community that you are a part of. I have our annual cost up there. So that is going to be the total cost for the year for everything. So you have to remember this price tag includes rent, utilities, internet, cable, and your laundry is included. There is a $50 application fee for housing, but that actually is just applied to your student account. So you can have it covered by your financial aid, or you can pay it when you pay for your classes. You don't have to pay it when you actually apply. So now let's talk about that price tag. So our in-state tuition is a little under $9,000 for the full year. So that is actually a really low cost for a Texas public university. If you were taking 12 hours or more, that's the price tag. If you're taking less than 12 hours, you pay by the hour, but it's going to be less than that. Basically, we just stop adding money to the account or money to the total once you hit 12 hours. The cost of attendance I have listed up there ranges pretty wildly because it obviously depends on if you're an in-state resident or out of state, because tuition is a lot higher if you're an out-of-state resident. It depends on where you're living and if you live by yourself or if you have a roommate. It depends on how much you eat, how much you spend on clothing. So there's a lot that goes into your cost of attendance, and there are definitely ways to lower that cost. And our students actually have the lowest debt upon graduation out of any Texas public institution. So again, going back to that, trying to make sure we give you a quality education without having you finance your future. So if you are admitted before December 1st, then we automatically consider you for these scholarships. So these range from $20,000 to $40,000 over 4 years. If you get the largest scholarship, which is $12,000 your first 2 years and then $8,000 your junior and senior, that covers most of your tuition and most of your housing for the first 2 years, and then most of your tuition for the last 2. So this is pretty substantial. And all you have to do is be admitted by December 1st, and we will automatically review you. If you want to apply for additional scholarships, then you can go to utrgv.edu/scholarships, and basically it's like a search engine, and you create a profile and it's going to give you a list of scholarships that you are eligible to apply for. So these are just additional designated or departmental or private scholarships that we offer. So for financial aid, like I mentioned earlier, we have the Tuition Advantage program. So if you have your financial aid application complete by March 1st, and your household income is $95,000 a year or less, then you could be eligible for Tuition Advantage. And this program pays for all of your tuition and fees. So we're going to use your scholarships, grant money, and we're going to give you additional grant money if needed to make sure your tuition is covered. So again, you have to be admitted and have your financial aid application completed by March 1st. And not just have your FAFSA or TASFA turned in. You want to make sure that's done really early, because if you're selected for verification, then your application is not complete. So make sure you get that financial aid application done early. Like I mentioned, we have flat rate tuition. So if you're taking 12 hours or more, you're just paying that one cost. You're not paying more when you add on additional classes. We also have guaranteed tuition. So once you enroll at UTRGV, your tuition is locked for 4 years. And even if it goes up for the class after you, it's still gonna stay the same for you. We offer over $250 million in financial aid annually. So again, we have that huge Texas grant allocation and the Tuition Advantage. So we're going to make sure that we try to get you as much aid as possible. So to apply to UTRGV, you apply online at Apply Texas, submit your official high school transcript. We are test optional for 2021. And beyond that, it really just depends on what things are looking like with COVID. But if you have SAT or ACT scores, it's really beneficial for us to have those because it just helps us make the decision. But it is not required, and you do not have to submit them. There is an admission essay that you do through Apply Texas, and we have no application fee. So it is free to apply. And if you looked at some of these application fees, they're a little pricey. So just the fact that we're giving it to you for free is exciting, because you don't have to worry about that extra $75 to $100 in an application fee. If you have dual credit or AP classes and you got your AP test scores, send in those college transcripts with that dual credit work, send in those AP scores, because again, that just gives us more information to show that you're college ready and ready to be admitted to a university. If you started a community college, which is totally fine, we have lots of students that transfer, you still apply online. You're going to submit transcripts from every college or university you've attended. And if you have more than 24 hours, all we need are your college transcripts. If you have less than 24 hours, then we'll need your high school information as well. But you can see up here, if you have an associate's degree, you're guaranteed admission to UTRGV. If you have more than 24 hours, as long as you have a 2.0, we're going to admit you. And then if you have less than 24 hours, you're going to fall under that holistic review, just like all of our other freshman students. You're considered a freshman transfer if you have less than 24 hours. Okay, so some dates to remember. December 1st is our freshman scholarship deadline. January 15th is our financial aid priority deadline. February 1st is our transfer scholarship deadline. March 1st is our housing priority deadline. And March 1st is our tuition advantage deadline. So the only deadlines that are hard deadlines are going to be this December 1st freshman scholarship app deadline, and then the March 1st tuition advantage deadline. So if you apply or you're admitted after these two dates, then you are not going to be eligible for scholarships or tuition advantage. The other three deadlines, also the transfer scholarship deadline. So, these every other deadline, December 1, February 1, March 1, those are hard deadlines. For financial aid priority and housing priority, basically, that's just when we're telling you should have it done by, because if you get your financial aid application done by January 15th, then we're likely to be able to meet all of your financial need. And if you get your housing application turned in by March 1st, we're likely to be able to give you your first choice in housing. So that's the reason we encourage you to get that done sooner. And we actually pride ourselves on sending out our first round of scholarship and financial aid awards prior to the holiday break. So if you get your FAFSA or your TASFA done super early, then you could have your award package before December, or before the holiday break in December. So right now things look a little different. Our Discover UTRGV is typically our big open house that we host on both campuses. So students can meet with different departments and tour the facilities. This year it is going to be virtual. We're using the same platform as the fall college fairs. So if you do the fall college fair, I believe y'all's fair is next Thursday, then you'll be familiar with how it works. But we are doing campus tours right now. So if you're in the Valley or you make a trip down to South Padre Island, then you can schedule a campus tour. They're going to be limited to 1 student and 2 guests. And we're only going to allow a few people per tour time. So you still can visit campus. It's just going to be in smaller numbers than we previously offered. So that is all the information that I have for you. Are there any questions that I can answer right now? I don't know if y'all have the ability to unmute yourselves, but you can type it into the chat.